What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Little Luck Garage. Today's episode, it's like a mystery box. We are gonna uncover this here mystery, see what it is, see if we can't maybe make it make some noise. You know, make it maybe do the boot scoot and boogie a little bit. Will it sing the song of its people again? I don't know. I've never even seen it uncovered. Talked to the owner for 27 seconds. Got about one sentence about it, and that's all I need. So it's gonna be fun. See what happens. Y'all, I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded. I'm sorry. I'm poor and I can't afford parts for the stuff that I have. So please subscribe. Please, pretty please subscribe. Help me get there as quick as we can. That'll just mean more content is all that's gonna happen, right? You know, I'm broke, so thanks. Okay, now I got some other projects in the works, of course. I'm waiting on parts and stuff, but while I'm waiting on that and thinking to myself, I don't know how I'm gonna get another project, I don't know what's gonna be next, you know, what have you, aside from what I got in front of me, you know, and building them, we're a little stuck, okay? But sometimes you gotta go cross country for content. Sometimes it just comes and right knocks on your door. So I'm here laying in my bed watching some college football, Roll Tide, and get a knock on the trailer, and you know, it was a neighbor across the street. So I work in the shop and one neighbor, and then the other neighbor is like kind of a business partner now a little bit. He and I, you'll see, we're working together, and that's where some of my other content's gonna come from. Well, now it's my other neighbor, so I only have 3 immediate neighbors. This is the third one. Came over and asked, you know, if I could help, you know, help him lift something, whatever, no big deal. But after helping him lift a big old toolbox and stuff, ended up saying, hey, want to work on that? That's when I learned just a snippet about it. But I said, yep, sure do. And now we're going to make us see your video. So, you know, literally fell in the lap, so should be good. Now, I don't even know if I should tell you what it is first, or if I should. It's wet, okay? This happened 2 days ago. It's now Monday, and it's been raining, just the bejeeb, all of it, raining lots. And so now it's wet and gross and nasty and stuff, and so I don't really care about working in the wet. I got the best cardboard creepers you've ever seen. I tell you what, look at that there. 4-ply. Come on, I'm fine there. But you know, these things here just get kind of annoying and slippery and what have you. So before I uncover that, I think I'm gonna get the little machine and clean. Okay. And the angles here, I'm sorry in advance, okay? I have this little dinky tripod almost thing that came with my GoPro, but my other main tripod that I use for all my filming was a casualty in a fire that happened in the bed of my truck. You'll see in an upcoming video. Yeah, just a lot of bad luck, you know, lately. Little Luck Garage, bad luck recently. So we're down on our luck a little bit. We're down on our supplies. We're down on a lot of things. So sorry about that. But okay. All right. Got a little spruced up. Who knows what it is? Can you tell? Do you know yet? What is it? Are you lying? Do you know? What is it? I saw exactly this much covered up from across the street, 200 yards away. That's all I've seen, but I knew what it was. You knew what it was? Supposedly underneath this here, fellers, we got ourselves a Mustang, okay? Of course, you know, to me, Should be pretty obvious with this. Pretty iconic Mustang. Of course, it could be the old Cougar, but that's just a Mercury Mustang. So I knew it was going to be a Mustang. All I really know here is that it's a Mustang. It came with a 289. Supposedly was swapped to a 302. And that says 75. But I think it's actually been parked since like 89 or something. Parked for a long time. So all I know, Mustang, or really just American V8, I'm sold. That's all I need to know. I'm ready. But let's get us uncovered here and see what we've got to work with. Yeah. Oh, would you check her out, would you? I mean, we got a little bit of the stuffage, but, you know, little nothing here crazy, just a little bit, just a little bit. This is the first time I'm seeing it, fellas, and I'll tell you what, I'm not a Ford guy. I know I have a Ranchero. That's weird. I'm a Chevy guy, always been. I'm like the anti-Mustang, actually. I've had so many Camaros, but come on. This is what does it for me right here. That hard top layer. Oh. Oof. Yep. I'm not saying, okay. Ooh, that's. Yep. That's. Oh. It just. I cried. That was so bad. I need to get this side open immediately. It's real. It's not good. It's not good. You know. Oh. That's. Oh, it's thick. Thick. Really thick. It's like I'm crying here a little bit. It hurts my eyes. You know, what's that? That one rapper lady? Like her thighs. It's thick. I have something to say about that too. I'll tell you what, you know, a certain you-know-who always has a good reaction and amazing one-liners about how these vehicles smell, and I think it's hilarious. At the same time, I'm always like, does it always smell that bad? Because when I got my Cutlass, that thing been sitting forever and it just smelled old. He ain't lying. He's not lying. That's the worst. Wow. That's all I'm saying, okay? I'm probably gonna put a fan in there or something. I can't even. I'm gonna stand back here. Does it zoom here? Can I? It's so bad. I don't have a. Oh, nope. I'm not going any closer. So from back here, I can tell you that the seats are a little bit of the wearage, not too bad. But the rest of it, I'm telling you, no headliner, just the way I like it. Back seat's perfect. I can't even, I'm telling you, we'll look at it more later. It's really bad. I think I gotta, is this a front pop? Is it a front thing, or do you gotta get in there? Are you gonna answer me or no? Okay. It's right here, I was just kidding. There's an engine in there. Oh, you want to see? So, just first glancing over here, battery doesn't look the oldest thing in the world, but it's connected and the cables look okay. Definitely a small block Ford, I can tell you that much. Distributors up front. It also says powered by Ford. It's also a Mustang. But you know, manual brakes. Got the PS steering though. We're good there. That's about all the options. That's all you need as far as I'm concerned. Give me the steers. You don't need brakes. But you know, a little bit of message back there. A couple wires is missing and stuff. But all in all, not too bad, I tell you. Not too bad. Last tagged in, I don't know if you can see that. Whoa, 1987. This thing's been off the road for longer than I've been alive. And again, the only thing the owner told me was that it was swapped at some point, and it hasn't been fired since it was off the road. So it should be good. Before I dive in here, I guess I will make a little bit of a plan ski. We're gonna, first off, need to see if the motor turns. It's gonna open a big old bag of worms, right? See if that thing turns real quick, putting some on the snout. Pretty much regardless, we're gonna take out the plugs and shoot some oil down in there. If it turns, amazing, right? Then we'll skip ahead, but no matter what, I don't want to turn that thing at all without some lubrication in them cylinders. We got a couple different options for that. Any oil is better than no oil. Whatever you got that's a lubricant. We're gonna do that, and then we'll go ahead and take it step by step from there. Before any of y'all start commenting and asking whatever, I don't own this car. I don't have an interest in this car aside from the purpose of my channel, which is to find as many cool hot rods as I can that are parked and forgotten and get them back on the road, right? I don't care if it's mine or not. I mean, I want this car, I'll tell you that right now, but I can't afford it. I'm poor, and I don't even know if it's for sale. We didn't talk about it. Truthfully, I'll find out at the end of this video, I'm sure, but ultimately I want to film it, and I want to see this car back on the road. With all these EVs coming up, these old Teslas and stuff, the sparkle vehicles, the Tinkerbell powered ones, people are, you know, ICE, internal combustion engines, they're gasoline forever, fellas, butts, tell you, okay? I want every single one of these things back on the road, like right now, okay? And so I'm not the best mechanic in the world, nor can I fully restore these things like you'll see on the old SEMAs, but I can get it running. You know, I've yet to find a motor that I couldn't get running, except for that one on my channel that I stopped. I could get it running, and I just didn't have parts, okay? But anyway, my purpose here is to just get it running. Then maybe we'll see about, who knows, will it move? I don't know, but that's about it. So doing this kind of for a neighbor friend here, but I want it. If you subscribe enough, maybe I can have it. Okay, thanks. All right, today's glove sponsor is my best friends. They went ahead and bought me that. I can't afford it, of course, but yeah, appreciate y'all, Corey and Christine. Y'all the best. All right, just want to see if we can make this thing maybe, you know. Oh yeah. So it turns now, but you want to do a full rotation, fella, or nuts. All right, we got a full rotation. What I didn't hear was a lot of the compressions. Didn't feel a lot of it either, but we'll get there. I, theoretically could, since it turns. You've seen people from this part go straight to, does it have spark and will it fire up? I don't want to do that. I would much rather spritz a little bit of the liquid lube stuff down those cylinders and leave the plugs out while can you see me? Sorry. And leave the plugs out when I try to make it turn over on the starter. So I think first order of business here is going to be, everything looks complete-ish, but we're going to go ahead and pull plugs, see what they look like, and mostly just get us the ability to squirt stuff down in there, which I'm gonna be honest doesn't look easy right now, but wish I had some two-stroke oil, two-stroke gas rather. But yeah, gonna do that, and also need to find the fuel thing guy, the fuel pump, right? And we're gonna disconnect that thing so it doesn't pump any nasty gas up in here. And we're gonna consider taking off the valve covers to lube them up a little bit. I don't know yet. But before I mess with the carburetor, this in that garage likes to call it the carburetor or whatever it is. Before I do that, I think I would kind of like to vacuum this up anyways. Go grab the vac. But yeah, I'm gonna start by pulling these plugs out, having a look at them anyway before I get too far. Not gonna be the most fun to get liquid in there, but we'll get there. Got these plugs out on the first side, and aside from, whoa, camera's doing weird things. Aside from being richer than Donald Trump, they honestly look excellent. I'm gonna zip out the other side real quick and cross my fingers, but they look like this. These plugs on the other side, almost identical, which is excellent. Truthfully, with these looking that good, makes me believe that I don't really have to put oil down the cylinders. I think I still am going to at least try, just out of an abundance of caution, to help this motor as much as I can. Because like I said, I still didn't really feel a lot of compression when the plugs are in. Probably some sticky valves, but could be sticky rings as well, I would assume, after it's been sitting for so long. But like I said, these look really good. But I've got some penetrating oil, basically cheaper PV blaster. I'm going to see if I can't maybe weasel that little hose into some of those and get something in there. Might use like a little piece of fuel line or something like that, something that'll fit in that hole. But I'm going to get something in those cylinders. We'll bring it back before I do anything else, but I'm going to do that real quick. We'll be right back. Now we got that vacuumed up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and yank off this cute little air filter. Doesn't look too bad in there, huh? See, the throttle stuck. Spray some stuff on that. So I walked up and I was talking to him for a minute, but it looks pretty decent in there. But that linkage is just locked. I lubed it real good, and I don't want to force anything too hard, so I'm gonna let that sit for just a few more minutes. But ultimately, I think we might have to pull off that carburetor so I can kind of work on that linkage a little bit. So I don't want to break or force anything. But aside from that, everything looks pretty good. I would already throw in a battery and see if the starter works on it, but just because that thing is stopped up, I'm really not crazy about turning it over a whole lot in case it does break free and there's stuff in there. I don't really want to deal with that, so I'm not going to see if it rotates by the starter just yet until I deal with that linkage, or at least until I get it off and can verify that there's not junk in there that's going to get sucked into the engine. So we're going to wait on that for just a little bit, but the next clip is either going to be me having that free or pulling off the carburetor. We'll see. You guys didn't actually believe that linkage was going to come unstuck, did you? Yeah, me neither. Usually don't love, in general, whenever you're working on cars or trying to fix one issue or reviving a car or whatever, my general rule of thumb is to try to take apart as little as I have to, because I'm lazy, but really because anytime you touch something, there's a chance it's going to break, right? Doesn't matter how good of a mechanic you are or aren't, sometimes you need a little luck. And things like gaskets and whatnot, you're just, they might hold until you rip them, you know? So I generally try to do this without taking off stuff if I can avoid it. But I'm gonna bend up, just break this thing. If it's even salvageable, which we don't know yet, till we get it off. Good night. Just trying to get off this little vacuum advance deal. And man, she is on there. Oof. So, think we're gonna save on that gasket. I'm gonna hit the vacuum real quick. But it looks, I mean, you can't really see a whole lot, but it looks all right. This thing though, I don't know if you can see in there, but there's definitely some gunk down in there. But really, it don't look bad. Hopefully I can get this freed up. I'm gonna do a tailgate rebuild, and by that I mean spray with a bunch of lube and tap on it a little bit. Okay. Well, wasn't too bad. I cleaned up as good as I can. Still not super clean in there. I really would like to take it apart, but there's nothing else falling apart. I scraped it a bunch best I could, and it seems to be going pretty well, so I think I'm going to zip that thing back on there. That's all popped back in there. Plugs are still out. Put the battery in here. I cleaned it off a little bit already, the terminals. This is not on there very well. I need to, maybe that'll be good enough? Probably not. Alright, I got the battery in. After I hooked it all up, this was pretty loose. I mean, this thing is not looking great, you know, but everything was tight here. Once I hooked it up and hooked up the loser switch, or basically just tried to arc the solenoid, I didn't get nothing. Like zero, no noise, no clicks, no nothing. So these don't look, let me just say, they don't look awesome, okay? But do I think it's the root cause of it not making any noise? Doubtful. It's like I couldn't get any power to it. This is pointless because it doesn't work. But anyway, what? I am going to take these apart and rebuild on them real fast. And by that I mean take them apart and use some sandpaper, maybe cut it back. But I'm gonna do that just so I can make sure, process of elimination here, right? I don't know if it's this, but it could be. So the old principle, the old KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. Right? So I'm gonna try real simple. Maybe it's a bad ground. I haven't gone on there to look at the starter. It might not even be hooked up, you know, I don't know. But this is not good regardless, so I'm going to take it apart and see if I can't salvage any of it, and we'll go from there. So, alright, I got updates. Pulled this wire. This is the one that runs from the solenoid down to the starter, and it is chewy. so I wasn't getting anything to the starter at all. And I didn't want to just bang on the starter, and you probably should have, because it was crusty, right? But then, right inside, she's a reman. So it actually was stuck. I just went ahead and bench tested it, put some jumpers right to it, and it didn't do anything initially, but then broke free. So it was a little bit stuck, I guess, but the starter is just fine. I think it may have been a combination of bad grounds and what have you nots. So anyway, went ahead and got a new one of these cables. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this starter in, put the new cable in, and see what we can make happen. All right, I got new wires and such on. Let's try this again, maybe. Okay, no fire. That's always positive. Nothing there. I think it's a bad solenoid, yo. We got ourselves a bad solenoid. So it's another day again. Ran out of parts and daylight and stuff. Also, I just was really ticked off because I was jacking up this Mustang, and the camera fell off the hood and shattered the screen. Good times. Still know it's bad. Even when I bypass it, I'm just not getting it to do anything like I needed to. So I think that's fine. Could maybe not be. Maybe when I put this in, if it still doesn't shoot the Bendix out, maybe it is a bad starter. But I went ahead and replaced cables and stuff, terminals, what have you, knots. I'm gonna pop this thing off really quick, a little quick. Slap a new solenoid in and see if maybe the loser switch will make it turn over. Great. Riddle me this, folks. Put the new solenoid in. Loser switch hooked up. I can hear the Bendix clicking out, which it wasn't doing before. Bad solenoid. I can hear the Bendix kicking out. Is there no flywheel in there? Granted, I took the starter out and put the starter back in. I didn't check the flywheel. There wasn't any shims in the starter. What's going on here? I don't know. It literally kind of acts like there's no flywheel in it. I turned the, I tried turning it over a little bit. Maybe it's missed tooth or something. I don't know if you can hear all that. Just getting pelted by walnuts. Don't you love fall? Guess I'm pulling that starter again. Here's that starter. And there is a flywheel in there. And no missing teeth or anything. Here's my thought. This car came with a 289. Someone supposedly put a 302 in it. Do those motors have different starters? I know that. I'm not a Ford guy here, but I know that some small block Chevys, 305, 350 is a different starter. Is it the same thing with 289s, 302s? I don't know. I got updates. So, call the auto parts store. In this case, it was Advance Auto, which is right around the corner from my house. See if they had the different starter in, because I think there's actually two different lengths starters, different for an auto and manual. I didn't have either one, but he ordered both from the other store, so I went, an hour and a half later. And because I really don't know which starter is going to be the right one, I'm going to show you here in a second. What this manager ended up doing was allowing me, because I'm a regular customer now, I'm there every day. He actually allowed me to take both starters with me and my original to see which one was going to work before bringing the other one back and paying for it. This is incredibly helpful because I'm buying parts for somebody else, you know, and that person wasn't with me, and it was just right around the corner anyway. And so this convenience, and it's also trust based, right? He's, I guess, taking a risk there, but I'll tell you what, it's going to go a long way, because not only am I absolutely going to bring these starters back, but I'm going to give a raving recommendation. Everyone that's in this business likes to have loyalty to a company or a brand or whatever. I don't believe in that. I have loyalty to people, right? And so anyone that corporate might ever see Advanced Auto, I don't know if anyone high up at Advanced Auto is here. Judd, he's a man. You should give that guy a raise. So anyway, let's look at what we got. Obviously, can you guess which starter is the original? It's not that one. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, so Bendix here, right, looks all shiny because I don't think it's been used. And then, oops, this one is the manual one. This is the automatic, right? So theoretically, this is an automatic car. It should be this one. But you see how this Bendix is a little out and it's a little sunken in here? So that's different. But then if you compare it to the manual one, it's also different. So which one do we use? This way, Judd's man let me slap it in real quick before returning it and hooking it up. So thanks, buddy, appreciate it. I'm gonna slap one of these in and see which one it is. Went ahead and put the auto one in there, which was a little different, as you saw, than the auto one that came out of there. It was actually the only one that would fit even, but I just slapped it in there real quick. Look at us. We're in good shape now. Spinning over real good. There's no plugs in it still, which is why it's so free and all that. Anywho, we're what? Now that we're in good shape, I got it turning over like I want to. I'm gonna probably just kick it over a little bit more. Actually, those cylinders are all cleared out, and it didn't look like much spit out anyways. But cool. Let me just disconnect that. All right, now we get to move on. So I already wired. This wire was already broken yesterday, and off camera I spliced into it and put it back to its ground. Went ahead and put a new coil in it. I actually just had it laying around, and the old coil looked questionable. It may have worked, probably not, but I got a new coil anyways. Should be just fine. I did take off the cap and rotor, and it looks like it needs to be, I might clean it up, just a little bit of sandpaper. But this honestly looks fine. The rotor looks fine. And the points, you're not gonna be able to see it too much. Points are just a touch corroded. So I think I'm just gonna get some sandpaper as well and buzz that up just a little bit. But other than that, honestly, this all looks just fine. What I'm gonna go ahead and do, we actually got new wires as well. I suppose I could put those on right now. I don't know. I'm gonna put the plugs in real quick. We'll see how far I get before I start filming again. Ready, go. All right, slap those plugs in. I think I ran the firing order right. You never can be sure until you're sure, you know. But we don't have a key. It happens to be misplaced at the moment. Not a big deal. I'd rather just run power to the coil so I can start it and kill it outside the car anyways. Just got a little dummy cord ran. I don't know. I got this little thing in here. Sparkle checker. Tinkerbell checker. Never used it, so let's see if it works this time. Ooh, almost got myself in the fan here. That was probably almost awesome. No sparkles there, but I'm not super confident about this yet. You know, is this even doing the thing over here? And this really wish I had a tripod, it'd be real nice right about now. That's not doing any of the sparkles. I mean, granted, I'm not super confident about that thing. Maybe I should. And that's tight, right? That's tight. That should be good enough. I'm not seeing anything there. I don't think any of this needs to be hooked up. That sure didn't do anything at all. That might be a ground. These are different anyways. I might put different terminals on these. But yeah, I'm not getting anything here. My inclination is to look at those points. I did file them. I mean, I used a little bit of sandpaper and probably didn't do anything. But yeah, could be a sketchy ground in here because this wire is just super brittle. But I kind of think we're not getting any power to the coil. That's what I'm thinking right now. That's what me thinks. Let me investigate. I'll catch you up in a minute. Well, that's junk. Junk. Bad. Bad, Dizzy. Bad. Junk. And it's mostly because this thing is just, it's bad. I maybe could potentially rebuild on it, but who wants it? It's like 20 bucks for a cap, 20 bucks for some points, all this kind of stuff. $60 for a Chinesium HEI on Amazon. So that's what we're doing. That'll be tomorrow. For now, we're gonna do some degreaser. Now, Pole Barn Garage here said it best. And he said, you know, if you don't buy your engine cleaner at Dollar General, you know, if you don't buy the cheap stuff, I don't even want to be your friend. And I get that. I do. This Dollar General was out of some of the good stuff, and I am. This is not. I don't want to say this is a customer that I'm working on this car for. It's not mine, but I am getting paid a little bit for some of what I'm doing. So I bought the good stuff. We're gonna slap some of this degreaser on here. Go. So you know I said that distributor is junk. Yeah, that's why I left it up when we pressure wash. Don't care. Got a HEI for it. So, you know, your Chinesium specials off the Amazonias work like a champ, except for when they don't. But anyway, what? Come over here. I guess you would mark which one is one, but just know where it's pointing, I guess. I'm gonna redo all of that anyways. It doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn her over to where she's at, the old TDC, as per the thing on the crank, you know. We'll do that, pull a Dizzy out, oil the ring and the gears and such. Just like to dip them in some oil before I slide them in there. Slippity do that thing, and you'll see that process. But that's what I'm about to do. So that was just a little behind the scenes part. Okay, bye. All right. We're going to attempt the gentle removal of this here junk distributor. Got it at TDC. Pulled out that little distributor clamper downer guy. Right out she comes. So there's that. I actually had number 5 marked. Now that I'm remembering this, I marked number 1. That was actually number 5. Just need to remember that. Number 1 would actually be right next to it. Yep. Well, I thought. Gonna dunk this other one here in some of the oil and mark and slide it in. Well, got that thing buzzed in there real quick like, but you know, a couple things here. For one, a couple things. Gotta make some new wires. Went ahead and returned on those ones that I had the guy buy for the other ignition, but obviously we got HEI, so we need new ones. It's like my third time on the channel, fourth time on the channel buying these. You guys have only seen one, maybe two. But I hate making spark plug wires. Just hate it. But it seems like all I do. I feel like any of the projects that I'm going to end up working on, just go ahead and buy a set of wires and make it usually twice, because usually I end up doing it for the stock ignition, and then as you'll see in this build and all of the next ones coming on my channel, I tend to just give up on points and go HEI. So say what you will about that. Okay, but anywho or what, we, you know, getting pretty handy at the old making of the spark plug wires. Not that I really needed any work on that. I would have been fine never doing another set in my life, but here we are. Makes it a lot easier. Do I need to show you? Do you guys want to see? I filmed like 2 or 3 of these how-tos, but I just don't think any of them have been posted yet, because I didn't have any money for parts till now. So I'm just gonna do this. Well, I'll tell you something or else or other. I don't know. Working on this, figuring out this whole camera stuff. Went ahead and finished making those plug wires. Before I got trailed off, I was talking about, there's another thing that I noticed on here, and that's that I don't hear a lot of compression. The plugs are in, mind you, and I can just really easily spin it over. So I hear one cylinder maybe. Other than that, we got like basically zero compression. So I could go ahead and see if we have spark, which I feel pretty confident that we're going to, because I went, you know, that. So I feel pretty good that we can make spark happen. But I haven't pulled off these spark or these valve covers yet. You know, I always try to take off as little as possible, because that's when you know, have to do gaskets and such. But I think it's absolutely necessary, because I think we have some of them valves that are doing sticky things, you know. Some of the old push rod stuffs. You know, lifters, sure. But I care about this motor. I want to give it its best, you know, ability to live. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull off the valve covers before we go too much further. And if nothing else, put some looby-dooby on them. Tap on them just gently enough. Make sure that they're all free. Just because right now, I'm telling you, I could probably make it have spark, but I doubt it's going to run because I don't hear any compression. So we're going to do that. Okay? Great. Just going to try to be gentle on the gasket stuff. I mean, chances of us saving the gasket are slim to none. Oh, I hope it doesn't look like it looks in the viewfinder, because the sun is out and it just makes it look really glary. You know, I bought this new camera for a whopping $150 off Amazon because of the GoPro being a little bit hurty. But then I went and found a Goodwill tripod, so I guess I could put the GoPro back on the tripod. But then I don't think I'm going to have this microphone. But that looks kind of bad. Maybe I'll try a different angle. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. You know? I don't know. Okay. So here's what we got looking at down here. It looks brand new. Like, when someone put this motor in, I don't know if they ran it at all. I mean, this looks new. A little bit of, I mean, that kind of a little bit looks like water, if I'm being honest with you, but this looks really good. Well, been a little bit. See if we can't update you a little bit here, I guess. Done some things. So found some sweet other valve covers. I've been working on that for a little bit. They're not on here right now. I'm going to switch them over in just a second. But went ahead and got new belts as well. Just threw the belts on. We are awaiting a new radiator. It has been ordered. It'll be in a few days. But I want to hear it run. So does the owner. So I went ahead and looped the transmission lines. Don't recommend driving around like that, but it should be fine for making it run anyways. I need to check fluids and stuff like that. But the distributor's in. I still need to run wires. I have it marked where number 1 was, and I'm just going to redo the firing order, as I like to do anytime there's a question, just to make sure that you did it right or wrong, at least on, you know, my thing. I like to at least account for it if it's me, you know. Anyway, so I'm going to probably slap some of these wires that I made on real quick. Just kind of doing some double checks. I just threw these valve covers back on because it looked like it might rain. Still looks like it potentially could, but I'll probably pop them back off when I start trying to start it anyways, as I want to, you know, see if they're working and stuff. But yeah, I think we're in decent shape anyway. Stuff's looped. I got new rad hoses and stuff like that, but we're just, I pulled off some of these radiator hoses. We're going to switch those around as well because they're just crunching, and I know they're just going to blow up under pressure. I guess it doesn't really matter right now because it might puke a little water if there's any inside it, but there's no rad, so we're not going to run it very long. Not worried about that. Okay, I guess I'm going to go ahead and run some spark plug wires. I need to maybe make this super crusty vacuum advance line hopefully still work, maybe. Please. Pretty please. Like extra please. No, maybe, how about now? I mean, that's the bareliest connection I've ever seen in my life, but is bareliest a word? Probably should be. Okay. Vacuum advance done. Rebuilt. Fuel lines are all disconnected every which way. Spark my plug wires. Spark my plugs. Spark my plugs. Mid-length. Go here. Shorty's over here. Why can't all the clicks be like that click? Just want a good click, guys. And girls. If it doesn't get any spark, I mean, if it shows spark, but none of the cylinders are firing, it's because of the wires. Remind me later. Thanks. Really should have trimmed some wires or something. I'll hide them somewhere or something. I don't know. Well, those are all plugged in and suchy such. I'm not going to use the key right now. I think I was just talking about. I just put crimped a little wire to a connector to slide in over the battery terminal on the 1-wire HEI. And then for now, I'm just going to grab this with a jumper wire. This is the wire I'm going to end up wiring into the stock ignition. But for right now, we're just going to have this over here. That'll be how I kill the car if and when it runs. We're going to do the check for spark thing though. So it's later. I'm doing some of the old editor there dealios on the computer. I'm editing. Okay. This audio is extremely bad. I got a mic because they said it would be good, and it's bad. It's very bad. I'm sorry. It's really bad. It's going to keep being really bad for the rest of this video. Really bad. But I promise to do at least a little bit of figuring out for the next video. So, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Do that. Check for some of the Tinkerbells. See if we can make some sparkles. Should be fine. This little super cheap loser switch I have is seen better days. I really should probably get a new one. Sure that does things. You know, sounds like there's some compression there, I guess. Alright, I need to check for spark. Can't say I've ever seen this thing work, but then again, every time I've tried it, there's been a bad ignition, so. Let's see if we got sparkles. If I hook this up to power, of course. Should be sparkles now. Oh yeah, we're getting fire. Maybe I'll show you on one of the other cameras. So, a little spark checker guy might actually be something, you know. Got the sparkages. Well, I guess it's about that time. I don't exactly know how to fill up the vents on this carburetor, if I'm being honest with you. Oh, need to take off this spark plug checker guy deal. So, since I don't really know how to do that, we're just gonna put some of the old 2-stroke oil right there down the gap and see what happens. No idea about the timing. Fire in the hole. That sounds like we might. Where was that coming from? I hear fire happening from places it shouldn't. Distributor sounds like it's honestly 180 out. Firing order could be off. I mean, I said it, but it was based off of what I thought was last time. And it could have been wrong last time. But it sounds maybe like the firing order is wrong. That didn't sound good. Let's try it again. I mean, it's obviously out of gas, but that was firing just popping off from weird spots. Like, did I not tighten the spark plugs? You know? Yeah, I mean, they're obviously, I would never do that, so. Could be off though. All the plugs could be off one. No, because I know. Here's the old one. Okay. Number right here, the one that was marked was number 5. It wasn't me that did it. So we got 1, 2, 3. So the one next to it should be the number 1, yeah. I mean, I guess the timing could just be way wonky. Keep it simple, stupid. Time, maybe I should just, we'll go. I'll tell you what, folks. I've been doing this a little bit, done this 1,000 times, and don't think I've ever made this mistake before. I don't know how else to tell you that I'm just an idiot, but when I went ahead and marked the distributor, which one was number 1, I didn't actually, you know, think about making sure the rotor pointed that way. It's off time. And I even said that right away, like immediately when I put gas in it, I was like, it's off time. But I realized this yesterday right after it started raining and we packed up stuff and whatnot, so I got to just dwell on that all night. That was nice. But yeah, that happened. So I just put it to TDC, pulled the number 1 spark plug, verified it was on the compression stroke at TDC, which it is for sure. I have it already marked because I remember doing that. My number 1 is. I just need to, you know, see where the rotor's at. That's all. No big deal, right? Just minor things. I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. We'll be right back. So if I didn't need confirmation, the rotor's pointing here. I definitely had number 1 right there. So, yep. All right, went ahead and set a camera on the back there. Maybe we can get the exhaust. Valve covers are still not bolted on. Right now I'm just gonna see if it's gonna bark off and make the right noises. But if I hook up the battery and my little makeshift coil out here, that's probably too much. Okay. Tickle that timing a little bit. Sounds a little lazy on timing. I always start lazy and go the other way. Maybe it's too lazy. There it is. Push it just a little bit. Battery might be on the low side. Well, it barked, fellers, and it's gonna run. So I'm gonna throw a battery on boil or switch batteries or do something. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and rig up a fuel system straight to this carburetor here. So I can't see if we can make it run a little bit longer, but it's a runner. Just wait. Alright, we got a little bit more battery. We got to kind of get this right, maybe. So I'm going to make sure we have fuel in the bowls, although I have questions about the carburetor. Squirters are working anyway. Just going to leave the fuel going. Fire in the hole. Oh, jolted my dude off here. Likes it more over here. Yes. Woo. Yes. Now, yeah, there we go. We got a little float bowl adjustment here, maybe. Whew. Got a little smoky. Alright, you know what? I don't really want to run it too much long anyways because it doesn't have a radiator. But you know what, folks? It runs. She's a runner. I don't exactly know how it sounds, and we got idling issues. I need to rebuild on the carburetor a little bit, but you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. Whew. Gave us a little bit of a fight, I'll tell you what, but yeah, we figured it out. Well, there you have it. It starts and it runs. Now, I'm gonna need to end this video off here, mainly because it's getting a little bit long, and because reasons. Okay, I'll tell you. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it to run a whole lot better than that until I do something with that carburetor. That carburetor, I didn't actually rebuild it. I took it off, got it unstuck, and that's it. But I mean, it's leaking there, from over here. I mean, everything is leaking. The squirters are having trouble. I think everything is pretty much clogged in there. And right now the owner is talking to me about, do we buy this stuff to rebuild it, or do we just skip it and go straight to a 4-barrel? Because like I said, this is a car they're going to want to put on the road and drive. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one off here. We did get it running. It does run. I went ahead and used the GoPro to capture some of the exhaust footage, but then of course when I got it running, like the bigger time, I didn't have it on, so there's that. But we did get quite a bit of stuff blowed out of there. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that all came out of that little dinker, so that's good. First time this thing's ever been started since '87, and truth be told, I'm not convinced this engine setup ever ran in this vehicle. It had the wrong starter, the timing was funny, and the distributor was junk. That could have been fun earlier, I guess, but starter was definitely wrong. So with it looking so brand new in there, I don't know that it ever did actually run, but it certainly hasn't run since at least 1987. So in the next episode, part 2 of this, we're going to tackle on some brakes probably. We got parts starting to order right now. Maybe a carburetor. We're either going to do a rebuild kit or just go ahead and buy a new intake and do a 4-barrel, and we'll do brakes, maybe a fuel system and such. But the next episode, or the next part of this series here, will be, can we make it consistently run, you know, idle and such, and then can we make it move and what have yous. So that's gonna do it for this episode. Right after I finish this, I gotta tidy up a couple little things today. I'm gonna edit this, get this video out as soon as possible, and then I got more footage to film on another project of mine tomorrow, something I've had for a while, been waiting to show you guys forever. So that video should be coming out real soon. I apologize for the long delay, but I got a lot of stuff happening. Okay, finally went to a lot of stuff, and then no stuffs, and then now it's back to a lot of stuffs. So got stuff coming up. Stay tuned, please subscribe. Tell me everything I did wrong, which was everything, sure. But anywho or what, thank you so much, really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. But until next time, we'll catch you later.